Business Spotlight, brought to you by Cross Rhythms and Baba Baboon.
I'm Sonya Farrell. This is Business Spotlight in partnership with Cross Rhythms City Radio and Baba Baboon. Joining me in the studio this week, we're going to be chatting all about property and property investment with Emily Simcock-Law from Properties4Potteries. I nearly stumbled there again, Emily. Properties4Potteries. Hello, Emily.
Twister. Hello, you okay?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes, I'm great. Thank you.
Good.
Very well.
Now, Properties4Potteries. Now, from what I'm reading from this and from what I've looked at and what we've discussed off air, this is a service which is a hands-free property investment service in Stoke-on-Trent.
Yes.
But what exactly is hands-free property investment? Because I'll be totally honest, it's a terminology that I have never come across myself.
Yeah.
So in case there is any listeners out there who are the same as me, do you just want to explain a little bit more?
Yeah, of course. Well, to be fair, the fact that you've not heard of it actually makes you a perfect candidate for it, to be honest. So yeah, the idea is basically I started the business to help anybody who is looking to, invest in property, get something out of their savings and make sensible investments, but don't know how to do it themselves, perhaps don't have the time to do it themselves, the contacts in the area. So the idea is it's for, the busy individual, perhaps you're working full time, you want to get your money working hard for you, and you know that property is a good way to do that, but you don't kind of want to go out and do all the legwork yourself. So it's basically an end-to-end service that covers all the way from understanding exactly what you're looking for your property investment, understanding your specific criteria, then going to source the property that meets that criteria. So whenever we say, source a property, it's basically just going out there, viewing on your behalf, negotiating on your behalf, dealing with the estate agents. Again, all of that legwork that a lot of people just don't have the time for or the inclination. Basically guiding you through that full process and then helping you through the conveyancing process, being a bit of a personal property shopper, as we like to say. It's a very cheesy term, but it kind of explains it well. As I say, kind of being a point of communication for you, helping you manage the emails, because again, that's something that puts so many people off the whole process, dealing with all these different points of contacts. And then we also offer managed refurbs as well. So again, that's a very big part of property investment in general. A lot of the time people are looking to do some kind of refurbishment to their property, whether it's a full scale, big refurb or just little, redecoration points, but anything that's going to add value to the property is then going to benefit you in terms of your investment. So the hands-free element is really just for, those busy people who, as I say, want to invest and want to get the money working hard for them, but don't want to do the legwork, so I'll do it for you.
I kind of liked what you said there as well, of being a personal property shopper.
Yeah.
And it's you can imagine, I can imagine that the people you do deal with, your clients and everything, who are leading such busy lives, like you've mentioned, who want to do something. And sometimes, even being in business yourself, it's really nice to give that headache to somebody else to take care of all those things that you don't really enjoy doing.
Exactly. And then you can benefit from all the fun stuff, all the returns. And I love organising things and, gathering different parts together, and I have the team in place, so it makes sense, to be able to kind of take that pressure off my clients.
And for yourself, you stepped away from full-time employment and set up the business in April 2023.
Yes, that's
correct.
Now,
again, why did you decide to do this, and sort of, your background? What is your background?
Yeah, so professionally not property related at all. I actually come from a background in digital marketing, so paid social marketing. I was the person pestering you with ads on Facebook and Instagram all the time. Was in that job all the way from leaving university up until, when I started Properties4Potteries. Learned so much in the job, loved it, was very grateful for it, but ultimately it kind of became more and more stressful. Anyone who's been in like a corporate office job will probably relate. As you kind of build more responsibility, go up the ranks, etc. There was more and more pressure, and so then personally, myself and my husband Toby, we had been investing ourselves, so we've been building up a little portfolio of buy-to-let properties in Stoke-on-Trent, kind of walking the walk. And then as it came to a point in the other job where I knew I wanted a bit of a change, I thought, well, why not do something that makes the most of my skills, as managing different moving parts and stressful situations and all these different points of contact and stuff. And then my husband is a tradesman as well, so he can then come in and cover the refurb side of things. And basically just decided to kind of merge those together. Did lots of training as well. I didn't kind of just jump straight into it. Did a sort of intensive training programs to understand the theory behind a lot of different property investment strategies and all the compliance side of things and all that important stuff. And then basically just kind of went all into it. I think if there's a point where you have to just kind of take the leap and jump full time. And I was very lucky that I was in a position to be able to do that.
Yeah, from what you said there, again, it's hard sometimes if you're starting your own business, but you identified your skills, what you're both good at, and put it into the business, full time. You haven't stopped, and it's already in the name, Properties4Potteries, and Stoke-on-Trent. Especially, you've kept everything within Stoke-on-Trent. Now, why is that important to you? One, as a business, and two, why is it important to invest in Stoke-on-Trent?
A variety of reasons, really. I mean, personally, I'm from that area. I've lived here, all my life pretty much, and I'm very proud of the area. I know that, like plenty of cities in the UK, we don't always get the best rep, but I think there's so many positive points to Stoke-on-Trent, the city itself, the people. I love it. I love the background, and that's why I wanted to celebrate the potteries as well, the heritage behind the pottery industry, etc. Get that into the name, the logo. So I wanted to do that personally, to celebrate the place that I'm from and the place that I love. But it also makes sense from, in terms of me doing this hands-free service for clients. Obviously, as I say, I'm here, I live here, I invest here myself. I understand the different areas where it's good to invest, where it's not so good. And that's what you'll find with, I think, a lot of property sources and people who do similar things to me. They will offer UK-wide or cities where they're not even located, and they'll do virtual viewing and all these kinds of things, which you can glean a lot of information from, but ultimately you're not there in the area, and you get benefit a lot from that. I really just wanted to celebrate the area and be that kind of go-to person in the area. And then there's so many benefits to investing in Stoke-on-Trent, but even just the location alone makes it a great investment location. Obviously, we're slap bang in the middle of the country. Great transport links out to all surrounding cities, 2 major universities, a major hospital, which has so much going on at that hospital, which I think a lot of people don't always realise. Big company headquarters based here, big football clubs. I won't get into the debate of the main two, but there's so many things that kind of bring people to the city and generate that local economy. So there's loads and loads of things which make it a great investment location, and that's why so many people do it. There's a reason why we always pop up on Homes Under the Hammer and all these kinds of programs. The house prices lend themselves well to investment, the property types, and there's a whole range of strategies that people can do in the city as well. It's very versatile.
And would you say, in Stoke-on-Trent particularly then, that's what we're talking about. That's the city that you know and love, your home city, your hometown. And is there sort of ample opportunity then for investments, like in different types of investment as well, different properties?
Absolutely. I mean, as I'm sure you're aware, rental demand is higher than ever at the moment, and that then brings with it demand for good landlords, quality landlords that are going to provide safe, comfortable homes. Again, we could talk about all sorts of things about the reputation that landlords get, but I really like to focus on, making sure that we're getting quality homes, quality landlords, and, ultimately giving those tenants the homes that they need in this time. And yeah, as I say, it's a very versatile area. You could be looking at just sort of simple single let buy-to-lets, the sort of standard 2 up, 2 down terrace, which a lot of people go for. As I say, we've got the hospital, the universities, so they lend themselves very well to like HMOs, house shares, those kinds of things. Serviced accommodation actually does well in the area as well. So, Airbnb, holiday homes, those kinds of things. And I think a lot of people wouldn't always associate Stoke with that. But what you don't often realise, it's not always people who are kind of coming on holiday. It's contractors who are coming to work, in the regeneration in the area, coming to work at the hospital. And then we do also have like Bolton Towers, various, as I say, the universities, graduation ceremonies, etc. So there's a lot that kind of brings people into the area that people don't always initially consider. So yeah, it's very versatile in terms of the different strategies you can do. And yeah, I mean, loads of scope for like flips and what we call BRRs in the industry, which is where you sort of buy a property that's very run down and refurbish it to add a lot of value to it. You would have typically bought it in cash initially, and then you add a mortgage onto it later so that you're able to pull out that value that you've added. And then obviously you've got the property there that you've refurbed, and you that's an asset, and then you've pulled out funds that you can go and do another and another and another. That's a very popular strategy as well in the area.
And you mentioned yourself, you invest, in the city as well, in Stoke-on-Trent. Is it become more easier to invest in property now, say in 2024, or even in the last year when you've been in your own business, or is it more difficult?
Yeah, I mean, it's like just a constant game of swings and roundabouts, I would say, with property investment, because there's many challenges that have come up in the last year. I mean, interest rates, I'm sure you're aware, have shot up, and that has had an impact on a lot of people in terms of cash flow. So obviously, your mortgage payments are going up. You're not earning as much each month. So there's always challenges and things going on. But then the one kind of constant with property investment is that the value of property is always going to go up. And that's been proven over like 70 years, more than 70 years of history. Interest rates have been much higher than they are at the moment. In the past, people were still investing and people are still benefiting from investments they made at that time now. So it's really, again, another cheesy term, but if in doubt, zoom out. That's always a good one. It's like a long game property investment. So yeah, there's definitely challenges that have cropped up, but there's also lots of advantages. There's the ways that, people a lot invest in companies versus their personal names now to kind of get various tax benefits and things like that. So yeah, there's all sorts of swings and roundabouts. It's quite a big thing to consider. And
something that you said, which was quite interesting as well, I'm just going to go back to when you mentioned the likes of Airbnbs. Now, again, you did say yourself that some people might not necessarily think that people are not even coming in as contractors. Yes, obviously people who live here, local residents and everything, but the tourism side. And just from what you've seen, can you sort of elaborate? Have you seen a change and a shift in that? And is it becoming more and more popular with tourists coming in? Because like you said, we've got Alton Towers, we've got the Trenton Gardens, we've got the local theatres and all that. And even graduation days, people coming and staying and friends and maybe making a weekend of it. Is that something which you can see getting more popular?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that is there and, is always kind of fluctuating. It's, in terms of, as I say, demand for those kind of serviced accommodation strategies and those kinds of things, the overwhelming kind of feedback I usually hear is that it is sort of contractors, workers, etc., particularly like the hospital and, as I say, the regeneration things that are going on in the area. But yeah, in terms, as you say, there are lots of attractions as well, like Alton Towers is always one that we kind of refer to. You've obviously, if you're getting more towards Leek and the Staffordshire Moorlands area, you've got the Peak District and all these other kinds of areas. So yeah, it's a reflection of the more that we can hopefully see pumped back into the local economy, then the more kind of buzz that we can generate and hopefully attract more and more people. Obviously, it's a shame that a couple of schemes and things didn't quite get over the line. I'm sure, we were planning to have like an arena in the area and all these other kinds of things, which hopefully would have brought a few more people in. But there's still plenty going on. I don't know if you've been near Stoke train station recently. There's a whole regeneration kind of scheme going on there. So yeah, there's still things being pumped back into the economy, and another good indicator of that is how many sort of new build developments and sites you see popping up around the city, and there are plenty, and while I'm not suggesting to invest in the new build, it's always a good kind of indicator of the area in general. Obviously these big corporations and companies, they're coming here, they're pumping money and they're investing, and that's only good news for the housing market and the economy. Anywhere that we're putting money in, it's going to raise the profile of the city and the house prices in the area, and just kind of benefit the investments in general.
And I'm just going to ask you one more thing, Emily, before you go. And this is probably a bit personal as well as professional.
Yeah.
But in the next 10 years, from what you've seen and experienced yourself, with property, and talking there about the investment that's coming into more and more into Stoke-on-Trent now, and the regeneration that's taking place, if you could wave a magic wand or something now, or sprinkle some magic dust, what would you like to see in the next 10 years for property within the city?
Yeah, I mean, I would just love to keep seeing these regeneration schemes popping up around the city, this money being pumped back into the local economy, so that, that the housing market can benefit from that, and we can continue to just, provide, as I say, like safe, comfortable homes for tenants that need it. As I say, obviously it's harder than ever for people to get on the property ladder, personally get take out their own mortgages, so people need rental accommodation, but we want that to be positive rental accommodation. We don't want these horrible landlords out there. We want it to be a positive experience for everyone, where the investors can benefit from good long-term, returns on their money, that the area is going to continue to grow in value, they're going to continue to benefit, and then the tenants are also going to have nice homes, comfortable homes, nice landlords, and everything will, that's what I would love to see, and hopefully we're on the track for that. The right track.
Emily, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. That's Emily Simcock-Law there from Properties4Potteries here on Business Spotlight with me, Sonya Farrell, in partnership with Cross Rhythms City Radio and Baba Baboon.
Business Spotlight, shining a light on our local business community. Brought to you by Cross Rhythms and Baba Baboon.